thrash metal, death metal, stoner metal, doom metal, Viking metal, pirate metal, surfing metal, metal for hamsters. It's all here on Metal World Radio.
All right, let's go.
Recording in progress. Love it. How's your day going?
Yeah, all right, mate. Busy. Loads of press, loads of interviews.
Yeah.
Been tons of it, like, over the past couple of weeks. Like, my whole days have been filled with, like, interviews and stuff. So it's pretty alien to me because I've never done this amount of press before. So it's pretty exciting.
It's a good thing. Exciting things coming up. You guys got a tour coming up. You got a new album coming up.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
loads
exciting.
of stuff.
I've been checking out. I've been watching the videos, the new tunes that you guys have released. Sounds really damn good. I've been playing you guys for a while, just for reference. I know you've been around the block now. You're coming up to what, 18 years as a band?
Yeah, 18 years. Yeah, it was wild, that, innit? I've been doing this for more than half of my life.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, and then it's good to see that you guys are coming into some success. I just want to know about the new album. I've heard the Paragon of Purity. What else? I'm just looking up the other the two songs you put. What was the other song? You got
Pantheon.
Pantheon, right?
Yeah.
And so I checked out those two tracks. They sound awesome. Are they indicative of the rest of the record?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. What can you tell? What can you tell me about those two singles? Why you picked them as the first two, and then what can we expect for the rest of the record?
Well, the first single, Paragon of Purity, that's the opening track on the album.
Okay.
And we picked it as the first single, not only because it is the opening track of the album, but also because for us it's the quintessential Ingested song, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
That's what our fans know Ingested as. Like, that is how we roll. Big slams, big riffs, epic parts, blast beats galore. Like, that's Ingested.
Yeah.
And we wanted, with this album, we wanted to come out swinging from the off. So with that one, we were like, let's just drop this one as a single. Like, it's an absolute blaster, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
And swing for the fences with it. The second tune, Pantheon, we chose it because it's one of our favorite tracks on the album. We just really love it. It's catchy, it's pacey, and we thought, yeah, that one will be a great one. That one was for us, that. But the rest of the album is kind of a whirlwind of modern death metal, basically. The best way I could describe it is, so 18 years ago, when we wrote and released our first album, Surpassing the Boundaries of Human Suffering, let's say Ingested had a toolbox, but in that toolbox there was only one tool, which was a fucking great big sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Right? Which was great because it did the job that we needed it to do at the time. As we've gone through our journey as a band and developed our career, and released album after album and gained all this experience as songwriters and performers and all this knowledge, what we've done is, over time, we've started getting new tools, different tools for different jobs, and putting them in the toolbox. And then here we are now, 18 years down the line, 2024, we're about to release The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams. And now Ingested's got a great big fucking toolbox full of loads of different tools, all for different jobs. So what that's done is that's freed us up as songwriters to be able to write the type of death metal that we want to write whenever we want to write it.
Right.
So this album, there's an eclectic mix of everything that we've learned over the years, everything that we've acquired, and it's all culminated in this album, which I know I'm coming from a biased point of view, but to me is one of the best modern death metal albums I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of it.
I'm excited. I think the two singles, they sound really freaking good. So I'm looking forward to hearing the rest and what you mentioned, the that progression. I'm a musician myself, and the progression you're mentioning, it's like you get better as musicians, you grow together. You know what I mean? You guys are spending a lot of time. You're perfecting your instruments as
Yeah.
well. And it reminds me of like I was listening to Carcass back in the day when they, I mean, and you mentioned like the toolbox having just the sledgehammer in it, which
Yeah.
was very much their story. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, necroticism comes out, and it's like, what's this?
Yeah.
You know
Complete
what I
change of
mean?
pace. I
Yeah.
mean, for them, I think it was like, obviously, it was a very stark change when necroticism came out
Hmm.
from what they'd done earlier with like Symphonies of Sickness and Recapitulation. Like that
Hmm.
was very much more grindy, gory sort of music.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously when necroticism came out, I think that's when they ended when Michael Amott joined the band.
Yeah.
And obviously he's like then putting all the melodies and the leads in, which would eventually lead them to writing Heartwork, which is one
Y-
of the best death metal albums of all time.
A masterpiece. Yeah. It's an
Yeah,
absolute
absolute
masterpiece.
masterpiece. But
S-
for
s-
us, it's like ours has been a more gradual change,
Yeah.
album to album. Like which I think is good because obviously we've grown up in this band. Like we were
Yeah.
teenagers when we first started. Now we're all in our mid to late 30s. So it's like ours has been a gradual change over time. So it's like even though when you look back through our discography, all the albums sound like Ingested. You know
Yeah.
that it's Ingested when you hear it. But
Absolutely.
each album has its own personality and its own character because as we've grown, so has the music. So it's
Yeah.
been like a gradual change. That's all. That's event. Like I said, it's eventually
You can hear it in the
come to a
music.
crescendo with this album.
Yeah, you can hear it, and you can hear the maturity of the writing too. It's progressed nicely.
Mm.
So I see that you have a tour coming up.
Yeah,
And I know that you probably have some tours that are you're probably working out in the background, I would
yeah.
imagine, that are coming down. I'm wondering, so tell us about where we can see you on the road coming up in the near future.
Okay.
And if you can disclose anything, that'd be great. If not, I understand.
Okay. So we've got the album coming out on April the 5th. And then a week after that, starting April 17th, we're going to embark on our own headline tour throughout the UK and Europe. The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams tour. We're taking out Fallujah, Vulvodynia, and Melancholia with us. So it's going to be an awesome tour.
Oh yeah.
Tickets are flying out. So anybody in the UK and Europe that's listening and you want to come to a show, get over to ingested.co.uk and buy your tickets now before you can't, because it's going to be a hell of a tour. So you don't want to miss that. After that, we've got some stuff in the works. Some stuff I can kind of give an idea of. Some stuff I can't. So in the summer, we have got something planned. We're taking our foot off the gas with festivals this year. We're going to try and not play any festivals this year.
Yeah.
But then after the summer, towards the fall time, I believe we shall be returning to the United States and Canada. But that's all I can really say about that.
I'm in
Like,
Toronto, so
but yeah,
I'm looking forward to
yeah,
that.
yeah. We'll
When
we'll definitely we'll definitely be over there at around that time of year. Other than that, we've got more singles coming out. We've got more music videos coming out. Loads of content. We're just gonna stay busy like we always do. Like every year is a busy year for us, so but we wouldn't have it any other way. Do you know what I mean? We love the game. Like we
that's
we
it,
we live for this. We were
it's
born for
good.
this. So like we'll
So
always make sure we're working as hard as possible for us and the fans.
so touching on you had mentioned the festivals, and I know I've talked with a lot of bands and stuff, and sometimes the festivals they can go either way. Some of them you
Mm,
pay to play on, others I just know that some bands feel that sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So
yeah.
are you finding that's kind of where it's at with the festivals for especially for death metal bands, right? It's not like it was.
No, I mean like whenever we play a festival, we always smash it like
Yeah.
every single time. like whatever stage we're playing, that stage will be packed whenever we play. People go fucking nuts. So it's always great. Like we love playing festivals, but because we've been playing festivals, especially like European summer festival runs, like every year, like we felt, well, this year, let's take our foot off the gas with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like because distance makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? So we were like,
True.
well,
Yeah.
let's just concentrate on touring, and then next year we'll look at festivals again. But this year, like, let's just leave it at that. Like we've hit a lot of festivals over the past few years. So we were just like, well, let's
It
just
makes
back
sense.
off
It
from
makes
that for a
sense
little
doing.
bit. Like, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then we'll come back next year and we'll kick everybody's fucking heads in. So
Yeah, and then doing a headline tour, of course, it's important. You're getting
yeah.
yourself out there, and it's incredible. Um, I was curious about, so you guys, do you tour as a three-piece band? I haven't seen you live, so
Ah, right. No, we don't tour as a three-piece band. The band official lineup is me, Lynn, and Sean.
yeah,
Just because we're the original members. Like that's just how it's always been. Like we used to have other original members, but over the years they've dropped off. Like their lives have changed. The things that they want in life has changed.
yeah,
That's okay. Do you know what I mean? No hard feelings. Um, but for us, this is everything. This is our brainchild, our baby. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, even though the official lineup is just myself, Sean, and Lynn, when we go out on tour, we'll get live bassists or guitarists. We have like a small pool of people, like our friends that we know and trust, and will work with on live tours. We've got Andrew Virueta, who's played in the Faceless.
right, right.
He's like our go-to guy to play guitar for us when we play live. Like he's such a great guy, and he's an insanely talented guitarist, insane talent. So yeah, we have a small pool of people that we love and trust and that we play with live. So we'll never play live as a three piece. We had to do it once on one tour, but that was just because the whole build up to like getting to that tour was just a nightmare. So we had to do it as a three piece. We didn't really have a choice. We didn't want to, but
Yeah, it probably. I mean,
sometimes it works. I mean, we still smashed it. Like we did the old dying fetus shit, but
yeah,
that's you know what I mean. That's not usually how we like to roll. We like to roll out on tour with a full band. So
definitely. So if the opportunity ever came up, would you ever consider a full-time fourth?
yeah, absolutely. But like I said, like this is our baby. This is our brainchild. This is something that we've put nearly 20 years of our lives into. Like so, for us, it's like if we were going to consider someone to be a full-time member, that's a hell of a lot of trust. Do you know what I
Right,
mean? Because this is a
right, yeah,
business like that we've built with our blood, sweat, and tears. So it's sort of like it needs to be the right person that's there for the right reasons. Because you see it everywhere, like especially in metal, man. Like bloody hell, like revolving door members, like in bands and stuff like that. And that's not who we are. Like, do you know
right,
what I mean? We've never been like that. So for it it would have to be the right person, and it's one of them things because it's like if you're making someone an official member, that means that you're giving them an equal share of your business that
right.
that you've built. So we don't want that person to just up sticks and leave after a year or whatever because they've been offered more money by another band or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Exactly. Yeah.
you have to be in this for the same reasons that we're in this. Like this is everything to us. Do you know what I mean? And I
How old
don't
were you
expect
guys?
that. Oh, how old were we?
Yeah, when you started out.
18. 18, but me and Sean had been in a band for 2 years before that.
Okay, so
Like
you'd
so,
known each other
yeah.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Sean have known each other since 2004.
So you have literally grown up together.
Literally 20 years,
And
like.
I always found too, as a musician myself, the guys who you grew up with and who you're playing with, and you're consistently challenging each other.
Mm.
I don't know if it's probably a similar dynamic you guys have. You want to challenge each other, right? You want to bring
Yeah.
harder stuff to play. You want to come up with a harder riff. You want to be as crazy as you can sometimes and see if everyone can pull their weight. I don't know if it's a similar situation when you guys are playing and writing, but
Yeah. I
that's how I
mean, like,
found the dynamic.
the thing is, we just want to be the best. Like, none of us have ever cared about fame or money or being the biggest, or do you know what I mean? Like, that's not what it's ever been about. Like, as long as we can pay our bills and our wives and kids have roof
Right.
over the head and don't, and you know what I mean, food in the bellies, don't have to worry about the rent being paid.
Right.
That's fine. Like, but for us, it was always about being the best. We want to be the best death metal band on the planet. We want to leave a lasting impact on the scene, a legacy. Like, we want to become undeniable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about immortality for us. Like, we want something that's gonna last forever, even when we're gone. That our kids and our grandkids can like look back when we're dead and go on the internet and go, "Holy shit, Granddad was a badass." Like,
Yeah.
that was so cool. Like, do you know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? Like, that's what we
they're
want.
and that's what they're gonna feel. I'm certain of it. They're gonna be like, oh my God. I would want to touch back on the videos. I thought that was kind of interesting. I was wondering if you could
Mm,
tell me the story, um, about the Paragon of Purity video, like the meaning,
yeah.
who directed it. If you can just dive a little deeper into that one.
Okay, so with all our videos, we work with a guy called Loki Films. He does all of our music videos. We've been friends with him for years. We've worked with him for years. Like, we understand each other like on a creative level. Like, so whenever, if I'm trying to explain something to him or he's trying to explain something to me about something in a music video, like, we understand what each other's saying because we do you know what I mean? Like, we've got that like connection.
Yeah.
Um, and with the Paragon of Purity video, what we wanted was, I wanted the music video to visually represent what was happening in the song. So not like from a lyrical point of view, but from a musical point of view. So it starts off, it's fast, it's heavy, it's pacey, and what happens throughout the journey of the song is it builds up in momentum until it reaches this crescendo at the end where it's just a heavy slam. It's brutal as fuck. The vocals are disgusting. And what I wanted was for the video to visually ramp up in violence towards the end where it comes to a crescendo of gore. Like, and that's what it is. So if you watch the video, obviously I'm strung up and there's like I'm looking a bit beat up at the beginning, bit of blood and stuff. And then as the video goes on, there's these shadows that are like tearing at us and stuff, and then these barbed wire being wrapped around my head, and there's more blood. Then they start pulling my guts out, and then they gouge my eyes out, and then right before the big slam at the end, they just tear my tongue right out of my mouth. So then
Yeah.
the very final verse, the lyrics are delivered with just me just spewing blood out in all directions, which
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I think that like perfectly sums up how the song goes, which was great because obviously it's always fun, like
Yeah.
spitting fake blood out everywhere. Like, so that was great. For the second video, Pantheon, I'm super proud of the Pantheon video because there's a proper narrative to it, which is not something that we've usually done in music videos, like not for a long time at least. And the idea of the video was I wanted it to be like this epic like journey, like of like hardship and obstacles and searching for something. And then eventually when you do find that thing, the sacrifices that you'll make to get what you want, which is why obviously I wake up and then there's this journey of me walking through all these wilderness places, and then eventually I come up to this beautiful waterfall, by the way. Like, the place,
I was
the
gonna say it's
location where we
gorgeous.
shot it was so cool. It was freezing, by the way. It was fucking freezing, and I
Oh
was in
yeah.
that water for ages and it was so cold. But yeah, like I get to this waterfall and then these demonic gods that are there, and it's like I have to make a sacrifice, and I cut my chest open and rip my own heart out and offer it up to them. So it was about that. But the reason why I'm so proud of that video is because all the special effects and all the makeup and props and stuff, like I made all them by hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Good
made
shit.
all of them in
It
this
looks
room.
awesome.
Thanks. Like, yeah,
That's
so that
great.
was like the first time I've properly done something like that. And it was just great fun. And the fact that it looks good is like, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm
It does
super
look really
happy.
good. It's one of the things that stood out to me. I was looking at the props and then the masks and everything. I was like, that's
Yeah.
very cool. It's very cool. That is awesome. I had no idea. I am a fisherman, right? So I was looking at that stream shot and I knew and I could see you climbing up the waterfall. And
Yeah.
I know that second when that cold water hits your nuts and they suck back up into your stomach. That's a
So bad. Dude, it was so bad. Like my feet were hurting for
oh yeah.
days afterwards because obviously under the water, it's
Yeah.
just all rocks and stones and they're all sharp and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
And I
terrible.
had to do it in bare feet because obviously I don't want to ruin my fucking shoes. Like, so
Right.
I was like walking around on like in freezing cold water on sharp stones with my bare feet all day. Like my feet weren't cut or anything, but like, you know, that constant like prodding and poking and like, oh, my feet were killing me, man.
I know the
Like
feeling, and then
it was so
you can't
bad.
really feel it all the way because your feet are kind of numb from the cold
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
So
And then it's like not until you get home and you have a bath and then you get out the bath and you're like, oh my God, my feet are killing me.
yeah, yeah. Oh man. I want to give you a chance to. So part of the show and part of when I have a band on, I want you to pick a few songs, a few bands that you're currently listening to, or maybe people you're bringing on tour. And I'm gonna
Mm.
give them a spin for the listeners. And so, if there's anything that comes to your mind, I would love to play it.
Um, Definitely check out our merch guy, Josh's new band. They're called Malice.
Okay,
I can't remember the name of the song, but they've just released a single and a music video on YouTube. So check that out. They're just called Malice from
will
the
do.
UK. Really, really, really good. Um, Other than that, anything by the bands that are supporting us, Vulvodynia, Fallujah, Melancholia, check all them out.
Will
Especially if
do.
you're coming out to the show, on the European tour, like check those bands out because they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, the new I'll tell you what, have you listened to the new Suffocation album?
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like fucking hell. Anything off that.
I
Like
talk
any song
I
off
talk to
that.
those guys and they're like they smoke a ton of weed and I'm
Yeah.
just like, how do you like I can't smoke that much weed and play the way they do. I can't wrap my mind around it. I'm like, holy
They are
shit.
they are machines. Like we've toured with them loads of times. Like I love Suffocation. They're one of my favorite bands, like of all
Yeah.
time. I fucking love that band.
Everything's
But like,
incredible. Their entire catalog.
but they are machines. Like they
Yeah.
are machines. Like I don't know how they do what they do. And it's like they're flawless every single night. Like every single night they're flawless. And you're just like, this is fucking insanity.
Yeah.
Like they're so good. Like, but
I
yeah,
know.
anything off that new Suffocation album.
Well, probably play a
Literally,
couple of songs.
yeah, anything. Like that album is so good.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I well, you know right away. As soon as I see this is the thing, as soon as I see Suffocation and actually Ingested is one of them, if I see either of those in my inbox, I know it's gonna be good. Like without question.
yeah.
So you guys are on that list for sure. There's some bands
Thank
I'm just
you.
kind of
I
like I
appreciate
have to
that.
listen to it first and see what's going on. But when it comes into my inbox, I know it's gonna be good. So that's positive. Anyway, so I pre-ordered the record. I broadcast from Toronto, but this is a global show. But for my North American friends, I got it through Indie Merch, so you can find it
Nice.
there. You also have the link on your website.
Yeah.
And who's doing the pre-order and stuff for UK and global? Do you know?
I think it's Plastic Head in the
Okay.
UK. I think it's Plastic Head in the UK. It might be Empiricon in Europe. I'm not sure. But
Okay.
the best thing is if you want tickets to any show, any ingested show, wherever it may be in the world, or you want to buy any merch or pre-order the album, the best thing to do is go to ingested.co.uk. And then when you click on the shop bit, it'll give you a territory. So it'll say
Yes.
like UK or Europe or Australia or US or Canada or whatever. And then you just click on the country that you're in and it will take you to the relevant store like straight away.
Which I
is
appreciate
pretty good.
because when I order from Nuclear Blast, it's in like Germany, and
Yeah.
it's like if for here it's a $40 shipping charge, and I'm
Yeah,
like, this
fuck
is
that.
This is stupid.
Fuck that. Well, we've got stores all over the world in different territories, just like because then it makes shipping
easier.
cheaper for everybody. It makes everything easier, and the fact that it's all in one place on our official website, ingested.co.uk. All you have to do is just click the country that you're in, and it'll take you to the right website. So easy peasy.
So listeners, yeah, indie merch is where I got it locally. So for my Toronto friends, and look for them on tour too. I'm gonna keep checking those tour dates.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
So I want to give a big thanks. Thank you so much for sitting and talking with me. I'm going to give you 6 minutes back in your day. I know that you're back to back.
Wow.
Gives you
Thank
gives you a
very
chance to
much.
refill the coffee and take a
I
piss
can
and-
go get a cup of tea. I can go and have a cig. It'll be all right. Might even stick in a sneaky poo.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Well, thank you for your time, John. I really appreciate it. It's been nice chatting to you. So, and I just want to say thank you to all our fans around the world for your undying support. It really does help us. It's the fuel that keeps this engine going, keeps the lights on at home. So please support us in any way you can. Buy tickets for our shows, pre-order the new album, and keep streaming our shit. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you on tour.
All right, peace. Nice one, mate. Ta-ra.
All right, bye.
Metal Foundations, every Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Metal World Radio.